So I heard a piece of information today. Where's my camera? There I am. Oh, there you are, Beaver.
Yeah, buddy.
This is nice. A new setup.
I like it.
I heard a piece of information this week, and normally that's what the Dutch Hall is. It's like a week of like things running through my noodle, and then eventually, like some of it just sticks. I'm like, I gotta get it out somehow, and I tried to get it out a couple times. Actually, I went to a stand-up set and just basically yelled at Banks for most of my set. You know, no jokes at all. It wasn't funny for anyone. But then I told a couple dick jokes to get out of it. But I just couldn't deal with it. Because I never thought of this piece of information before. And it's like, do you ever think about money? Like, do you ever think about, you hear about like how governments everywhere are like printing money, right?
That's all you hear.
They're just printing money and then, so there's all this new money, right? Mm-hmm. But do you ever think like, how do they give it away?
No.
Like, how does it enter the economy?
No.
That I didn't.
There's that small process of time where, I'm in limbo where I'm like, oh, that's where that went.
Like, I think they make money, right?
Yeah.
And then there's one way they can make it. This is what I want to do on the show. I'll tell you how they make it, and then I'll tell you how to get it, and then I'll tell you what to do with it when you get it. Because it's crazy right now. All the banks, all the governments just believe that you can just print more money and
forever.
Nothing's tied to anything. It's what's called a fiat currencies. Everyone's got fiat currencies, which is kind of like a pyramid scheme kind of thing. But if it keeps going, if people keep thinking your money's worth something, then it's worth something, right? Mm-hmm. But if the day they don't, then the whole Ponzi scheme comes down, right? And that's kind of what money is right now. And so but I never really knew how they make, sure they print it, but then like who they give it to. And then I think, well, there's some government programs or whatever, they probably like give it to them or whatever, you know?
It's got to go to the Treasury first, right?
Yeah. I don't know. No, sometimes it does. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't. Like sometimes you can actually physically print more money. And then sometimes in the case of banks will make money just by lending. Like for example, if you, let's say you and me both go to the same bank, right? Mm-hmm. And then you buy a farm.
Yep.
And then I want to buy your farm off you, right? And so the bank gives me money to give to you.
And really, it was just fictitious money they gave you to give me?
And then it's like I'm basically paying your debt, mm-hmm. right? And then you get the leftover cash or whatever, but any cash you get is still my debt.
Right.
So like the bank can just like move around debt, and then if they can inject more capital, you know, through like lowering their reserves or using their profits or whatever, then they can just keep kind of like making more, like they can keep they determine where it goes, and then they go to the Bank of Canada or the bank or the whatever. This
what you're more or less talking about is like the Big Short, credit swaps.
Yeah, but even if the money comes from, like, if they go to if the Canadian banks go to the Bank of Canada and they get more money to lend out, right?
Yeah.
That's some of this new money that they're making. So They get it and they lend it out. But the bank's deciding where the money goes.
Right.
You know, so like that's really the whole thing. Like in order for you to get more money, you have to get more debt.
Right.
Because debt is money.
Debt is money. And
if you don't have debt, you can't get money. The only way you can get money is through working. Who wants to do that? And then when you do work, you know, like that's for your disposable part, you know, mm-hmm. Like the water you drink or like the food you eat or whatever, you know, stuff that you can't keep. But if you're that other shit, you know, like that, if you get debt for it, that when you eventually sell it, whether it be a business, whether it be a house or some sort of an asset, then you get money because you trade. Some poor kid inherits your debt, and then you get the money. So as long as there's somebody in line willing to take on the debt, you're going to get the money.
Yep.
And that's why banks will take on loads of debt.
Well, the banks are taking on debt because they're controlling the
flow.
Yeah, they're controlling their asset value.
Mm-hmm.
They know that their security value, as long as they keep pumping money into that sector, let's say real estate, if they keep pumping money into real estate, they're going to fucking drive the price of real estate up, and that's their security. So then they're safe to keep lending more. They're like basically making themselves safe by driving up the price of their own assets.
Their own asset, yeah.
Like the banks aren't going to lend to somebody something that's going to help humanity. They're going to lend to something that's going to help the bank,
Right.
And that's who determines where all this new money that's being printed is going. A lot of times, is these banks, and that they don't think they recognize how heavy a responsibility that is. Like for you guys, for farmers out there, if all of a sudden the banks decide that farming's high risk and they don't want to lend to it, your asset values become worth a lot less.
Oh, exactly.
They just drop because nobody can get loans to buy them from you, right?
Right.
And that's the amount of power they have to say, this industry's good, this industry's bad, this one, we're not lending to restaurants anymore, we're not lending to
they could tank,
whatever,
They could tank my net worth in a matter of months.
Yeah, if they decide, that's the thing, they have so much power, and the general public, they don't come up in conversation with elections, they don't you don't hear nothing about them. They're just in the background, but everyone's got to go to them to get any money. If I want to better myself in any way, shape, or form, I got to go to the banks. I have to go to the bank.
Oh, I got a funny story for you. So the first time I ever bought a farm, my dad was like, Derek, bank's not going to give you money. They don't want you. You're too high risk. So I took his word for it. I'm like, so now what do? I need a fucking farm.
Yeah.
Now. I'm paying too much in income tax. Might as well, instead of pay the income tax, might as well buy a farm.
Yeah.
So I had to borrow money from him. And then 3 years later, when I worked my bag off, paid the down payment off from my dad, then the bank would give me money because all the risk was out of their hands, or is out of my hands.
Yeah, you proved you had a chance to prove yourself, so now you have something.
So the bank did not want nothing to do with me, and magically they did, which I don't understand. That's like in society, or in day-to-day, that's like someone not wanting to be your friend, and then you have to, then all of a sudden, weeks later, when they realize you're cool, they're like, you know what, you can come in.
Yeah.
It's like, no, the rest of the world would be like, fuck you.
Yeah. That's the thing. The same thing. I'll tell the listeners before we get this show actually officially started, but just so the listeners know, I am a drunk, sure, or whatever. Maybe I'm a bit of a burnout, if you'd like. Whatever you want. But I also am a trained economist who worked 15 years in commercial banking, so I do have a certain level of expertise, and I have to tell you, I had to leave that world because my job was to tell people on a quite regular basis that I could not give them a loan because they didn't have enough money to get the loan. When the reason you get a fucking loan
is because you don't have money.
It's because you don't have enough money. If they had enough money, they wouldn't need the loan. But if they didn't need the loan, I would give them all the money they needed. Right?
Perfect.
Is that a fucked up system or what?
Huge fucked up.
Anyways, let's talk about that fucked up system, how to exploit them, get their money, and then use it to your best advantage.
So you're what society is called a seasoned veteran in the world of.
I like to believe that I'm like a mole. I'm like a snitch. I've infiltrated their world. I'm like an undercover cop. Kind of. I infiltrated the world of these douchebags. I've immersed myself in their culture for the better part of my good solid years, damaged my mental and physical health for these cocksuckers, right? And then now I'm going to take this information that I gathered and I'm going to give it to all the bumblefuck people who listen to my program as a gift to them to say, this is how you can do it if you want to listen. But I think it'll work. Like, I think that I was trying to explain some of my ideas to the banker. His eyes were like glazed over. He thought I was crazy, Like, I don't think I think I might be either A, crazy, or maybe I just spent a lot more time thinking about this shit than he did.
So what did he say when he seen your background?
He knows what I did, but what did you do lately?
He didn't give it credit?
When I first met him.
What do you mean lately?
I haven't worked in fucking 8 years.
Were you supposed to tell him what you did in the banking world yesterday?
You tell him you were a 2-time award winner?
I didn't mention it. Yeah, maybe next time I'm gonna bring those fucking President's Club awards and just tell them a thing or two.
Set them down first.
Yeah.
No, it was. I'll tell you the whole story because it's a pretty interesting story and it's a pretty. I'll tell you how I was pretty offended actually in the meeting because of how I get treated now by bankers. Because I get treated pretty bad. By bankers. Like I know what they're doing to me because I've been one of them. And I know the body language. I know, and some of this could be my own insecurities that I'm totally writing a narrative and just criticizing myself.
You know what's coming next.
You be the judge.
You know what's coming next, always.
Yes, and I know what's coming next right now, and it's a thing we call the goddamn theme song. There we go. Thank you, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to the Dutch Hall with Pete Van Dyke. I am Pete Van Dyke, and this is the Dutch Hall. That's how we came up with the name. We are here Thursday night, classic Thursday night here in the Pool Shed in Pine Grove, and we have the classic Holy Trinity of Season 8 back in the Dutch Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, to my immediate left, he is running the board and been just a real stalwart to this program. Kevin Van Dungen, everyone.
Yeah.
We never did come up with a handle for you, did we, Kevin? No, Kevin the...
Yeah, we need a handle.
Yeah, Kevin... It needs to be like Kevin the Hammer Van Dungen, like something like that. Like Kevin the...
Take it.
The Rock. not Hammer,
He'll take the first one you just said.
I think Beav gets the hammer. But
yeah. Maybe you go like... So you are... Let's just flesh out Kev's character, okay?
All right.
Kev is a Goodwill Hunting type.
Yes, he is.
Right? What he does is he hangs around with a mop and solves the greatest problems that our society has.
When I look at Kev, I see Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Really?
So, do you know anything about that character? Like, what movie is that again? Is that Goodwill Hunting?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So we could call him Will Hunting. Kevin Will Hunting Van Dungen. That's not a very good handle.
I think we're gonna have to.
How about Kevin? How you like them apples?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we'll call you Apples.
Apples.
Kevin Apples Van Dungen.
Yeah, I like your first one.
How you like the apples?
Yeah.
How you like them apples?
How you like them apples?
It's long.
How you like them apples is it's a long name for a nickname.
But you know what?
You might be able to pull it off.
We can pull it off.
We'll try it next week. We missed our opportunity today.
Yeah, we won't put a hard staple on it, but
I'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's a working nickname.
And also, to my immediate right, we have to complete the Trinity. We have Derek the Beaver Van Houten, everyone.
Yeah, buddy.
Derek is back again, and every week you come back now. You look like you're a little bit healthier. You gain a little. Maybe you had a little bit more nourishment.
I've come back.
You're starting to come back.
I've come back.
And I'm happy to see you, buddy. And we have he already has a handle. He already. Is that even English?
I have many handles.
Yeah, one of them is your big handle that's right between your legs there, buddy. I know it.
I know. And speaking of that, I've got a major announcement.
You're going to announce it on the show?
I am going to.
Oh, well, please go ahead. Do we have a drum roll that you can find in there?
I bet you there is. Yep.
Oh.
There it is. I have managed to, on my own, procreate.
Hey, playing it one deep. Way to go, Beaver. Another baby beaver on the way.
Yeah.
So happy. And it does actually lead me to another great shout out for this show. One of the members of the Dutch Hall cast and one of the great supporters of our show, Michael Bow, our band leader, has just we watched this guy in the 100,000 downloads. In the time we've got the 100,000 downloads, we've watched this guy go from having a girlfriend to going through a breakup to being a single man to finding the love of his life to being engaged, married, to welcoming his first son into this world. And now, I'm happy to say, we've been doing programs to welcome the birth of Michael's new baby daughter to this world. He just had a baby girl.
Tessa
Bow.
Congratulations.
Tessa Marie.
And so this is just a festive occasion here in the Dutch Hall. Very festive. We should open with all the festive stuff instead of like yelling about the banks, eh? And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the other creepy fucker in this room, and that is Robot Dave. Robot Dave, everyone.
Thanks a lot, Pete.
Oh, nice. Your mouth even moved. And now Robot Dave, has gone under a bit of a I've tried to I fixed him.
He looks like he's got a bit of a giraffe neck going on.
Yeah, but he has seemed like over the years over the weeks his shoulders have sunk.
Sunk?
Yeah, they definitely have sunk.
Bit of a mouth breather today too.
He likes to keep it open. He's catching flies. There is a lot of flies in here.
He needs a little plastic surgery.
Oh, you shut it.
He did.
Come on, turn your head, fucker. Don't be so... I fixed him. I spent time fixing this today.
Oh, he's stubborn, eh?
He is stubborn. Anyways, I believe in his head turns. Goddamn technology. I felt like a whiz. I was going to show off, and it turns out he let me down like he does every week. Robot Dave, you piece of crap. And I'm your host and two-time President's Club Award winner.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, Pete Van Dyke. Yeah. All right.
McMahon right there.
Yeah. I was dragging it out. I wanted a big, when they do that, they drag that thing out. It really makes you like you're Derek the Beaver Van Hoot.
That was good. That's a heavy Bruce Buffer right there.
All right. That would be good.
Like air horns and stuff.
Oh, that's what I want to do with your intro. I was going to say you got this beautiful voice you hear is Derek Beaver Van Hooten. People get shout outs to the beautiful quality of your voice, eh?
Yes, they do.
And then it sounds like a radio voice, people will say. Mm-hmm. And the secret is, I figured out your secret.
What's that?
Cigarettes and a huge hog, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
And a nice plate full of treats.
Couple beers.
Yeah. Just need a couple.
Oh, well, this is a great show so
Wet the
far.
whistle.
Yeah. So, I want to tell you about because I've worked for the banks. My experience of when I say I work for the banks, I worked for a real bank twice. I worked for two real banks. One I worked for 2 months. One I worked for 4 days. Right, and so I have been only in real banks working for 2 months and 4 days. And so I don't have a plethora because
in the financial world, I'd say you've got some years behind your belt.
Well, I've worked with these guys because I lent money for a Crown Corporation, which the difference is like regular corporation is like they're motivated by whatever their shareholders want, which is money.
Yeah.
And then a crown corporation is motivated by whatever their shareholders want, which in some cases could be something different. And in my case, it was helping the industry I was in, which is agriculture. So then, to me, so they could make a decision that wasn't maybe money related, but it was what was best.
Right.
Right. So to me, that was still doing good. And then, but the banks, they were crappy to people, and I couldn't stay there either time. Like they were terrible to people. They would they would say like how do I determine like how much interest rate to charge these people? You know, They would be like, well, like whatever you can get.
Whatever. Are you serious? It's like a used car dealership.
Yeah, like if they complain, like lower it. If they don't, then see what you can get.
So they more or less, if you complain, you get a bunch.
This is a long time ago. This might not be the way it is now, but this was like 2001 or whatever. But yeah, they said, yeah, that's exactly what I was told, and I was like, that's fucked, man. That's not right. And then I said that for 2 months. I kept saying every day, this place is fucked. This isn't right. You know, like, don't you guys care about people at all? And I was told at one point in time, like by a person there, and thank God he did it. I had been there for like a month, and he says, everyone here hates you, eh?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Why? And he goes, because all you do is tell them that the place that they work at sucks all day long. And then a lot of them like think that it's not a lot of fun to come into work and hear that their place of work sucks all day long. You know,
They like the truth.
And I'm like, well, it does suck. Like, this is crazy. And then he's like, see, you're doing it. You're still doing it. You know, and
you can't not do it.
Yeah. And so I knew.
Here's a question though. Does that like plan work at FCC too?
What do you mean?
If you complain, they'll just give you a lower rate.
No. That was what I liked about it, because they would put you into a risk model, and it would be kind of fair, you know?
No, it's always been fair. I'm just saying, the next time I got to read.
Yeah, if I knew a trick to it. I would have guys complain to me all the time, and because my competition was the banks, and that was their policy, some of them at least. And so like guys would come in knowing that that's the way it goes, right? So I'd give them their price, and then they would argue with me, and I'd be like, fuck you. Like, what do you... No. I just told you. You know how hard it was for me to get to that?
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, like, no, you don't get more. And then they'd be like, well, this sucks, because in their mind, they were trained that they always got a little more. So, like, if you want to give me prime plus 1, then come in offering me prime plus a half, 1.5, and then let me argue about it, and then give me the prime plus 1. It's like, why don't I just give you the prime plus 1, and we don't have to go through that bullshit?
Let's just straight up give me the best offer.
Give me the best price. This is it. And
but see, back in the day, though, it was like a big game of cat and mouse between bank manager, and person.
Yeah.
Right? Or farmer, and this, like, back in the day, we all said it. Our parents, the first person invited to our parents' wedding by their parents was the bank manager.
Was there?
Oh yeah, I guarantee your dad's wedding.
There was a bank manager there?
There was a bank manager there.
I doubt it.
At my dad's wedding, the bank manager was there, all the important people in the town, and then if there was room, then you got to invite friends.
Really? I don't know. I was always growing up like just taught to hate those people. Like I didn't think they were ever our friends.
No, they were buttering them up.
Oh yeah,
because they wanted to fucking get a better rate.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like crazy. Like I know some guys, like even when I was doing it, like they would always like be in all these pricing like competitive situations, and I always just thought like I'm not in those. I never get in those. And I was like, why don't I ever get in those? And you know what I think it is? They were all shitty lenders. Every last one.
Every last one of them.
But it is kind of true in a way. Like if your only trick is price, then you're probably fucking like not very good.
No.
Like you're not building any relationship. The guy doesn't care about you. You don't care about them. You're saying all you are is a person to get you money, and all you are is cheap money, you know?
I wish you were giving performance reviews for these people.
Oh, yeah.
See,
you
like,
buy a bunch of business and you think you're good at what you do. I mean, like, it doesn't take much just to just to drop your pants, like how about you like give the person something of value, and then they don't question the price because they're happy with the service they're getting, and you know what I mean?
Yep. See, Pete, for me, the difference for me, how I feel when I'm borrowing money is, I feel that the bank wants to make sure I'm not lying or cheating them out. Whereas FCC, for example, like when I've had to borrow money, FCC will come to the farm and want to either see the farm that I'm purchasing or the upgrade that I need this money for, because they are genuinely showing interest in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Whereas the bank, they want to just see if I'm just shooting from the hip here and seeing if they'll give me free money magically.
Yeah, yeah.
I just feel that FCC, like the people I've had to deal with in FCC, they genuinely want to see me succeed. Like,
yeah.
They're also going to tell it to me straight, but
I think the FCC's more like they want to see you succeed, and the banks want to see that you have already succeeded.
You're right.
And the banks want to give you like an umbrella when the sun's shining.
And they want to take the keys when it's raining.
They'll take it away when it's raining. Yeah,
oh,
that's
fuck
for
yeah.
sure.
Whereas FCC, they do not want any part of your farm.
No, and I think any real lender really doesn't want the security. Like that's the last thing they want, because they're bankers. They're not like farmers, right? They're not like
what are they going
restaurateurs.
to do? Yeah, what are they going to do? Take your farm and do what with it?
Yeah, they're just going to ditch it as quickly as they can to liquidate it and minimize their loss. They really don't care. And but that's your life. That's your like sometimes generations. Yeah. And if the banks treat that would break my heart.
Yeah.
Because that guy, I took it too personal. That's probably why I wasn't made for that job. Because I would lie up at night worrying about these people's financial problems, and they're sleeping like babies. And I was like, how come like I shouldn't be like more worried about this shit than the actual person whose problem it is,
Right.
But I would I don't know why, but I hated it, man. I hated it. Even now, like I just hated going there and doing that stuff every day. I didn't feel right about it, and even when I was trying to do good things, I just felt the whole system was kind of greasy, but I never said no to anyone either. I always said, instead of saying no, I'd say like, this is what you have to do to get a yes.
To get a yes.
Yeah. So like I can't say yes now, but if you do this, and this, then I can do it. And then at least they have something to work
towards.
Yeah. And then if they come back and did that stuff, well, I'm obviously going to do it.
Now you're also not going to give a goal that's easily attainable. It's got to be. You're putting your foot down, and
Yeah, like for example, let's take your first example where you said no bank's going to lend to you because you're not proven yet or whatever.
Right.
And then so you got the loan from your father till you could get a couple of years under your belt and that sort of. That's a sort of a solution, like where if you did come to me. And I wasn't able to give you money because you didn't have any history yet, I would say like you could find that way to do it, But the fact that you did that on anyway would to me show that you had the conviction to say like this guy's going to do it no matter what.
Right.
And then if a guy's going to be like doing it no matter what, he's probably not going to be like happy about not making his payments, And then so what would happen if a guy who's so determined that he's going to go through any step he needs to get this done, and then he knows 1 year he has a bad year and he's not going to make his payment? What do you think he's going to do? Sit around and like just bitch about it, or is he going to be like racking his brain to come up with something else to do, to like fill in the gap? Most likely he's going to be doing the last thing, and then you're like, okay, this guy's going to like no matter what happens to anything, going to just be like worried sick about it and figure out a way to pay the loan.
Right.
That's all you really need to know. Just do the fucking loan then. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like if it's not going to hurt him, if it's not something like where this guy's like biting off way more than he can chew and he's going to like, harm his family because he's taking on too much or whatever. But if it's a reasonable thing and the person has that sort of attitude, then they're not gonna be doing it. But it's the guy that's got all the answers. He's like real slick. He's like comes like in there and he's got an answer for everything. And
Pete,
he's greasy.
Can you also see? You can see drive too. Can you
That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. It's like drive. It's like this guy's gonna this person's doing what they need to do to make their thing happen. They're not accepting another alternative to it. Where there's a lot of people where they'd come in for that first loan, and I'd say you don't have a proven history yet, and you'd have to go to your dad, and they would hear, you don't have a proven history, they don't want me, I suck, I'm never going to be able to do this, and then they just walk away defeated. They didn't have the conviction to want to do that thing.
Right.
Yeah, I suppose if they never even ask you, like, well, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, you're you don't have it. Sorry.
Yeah, if you just accept the no, if you just go, oh, okay, I guess I'm just going to go. Well, then you're like, I made a right decision saying no to that guy.
Yeah.
Because that guy's like got no fight in him.
He folded, He folded like a dirty shirt.
How are you going to be a farmer if you don't fucking know how to work through a bad year once in a while?
Yeah, I never accept no. There's always got to be a maybe.
Yeah, you strike me as there's always a solution.
There's always got to be. There's got to be something. Like
man.
It may not be pretty. And it may...
We'll figure it out.
Right. And it may take longer, and it may not be fixed right now, but I'm not fucking stopping.
Yeah.
I was born to do this shit.
Yeah. You just do it. That's kind of like a...
But you also... It's not just... That philosophy shouldn't just work in just farming.
No, it's whatever you do.
It's whatever you do. Like, there's too many people, I think, that are satisfied with okay.
Yeah. My wife really hates good enough. She doesn't like that expression at all because she goes, every time you say good enough, it's clearly not good enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Something's fucked up about it. That's why you say good enough. Yeah?
It's a Band-Aid word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of Band-Aid solutions to things. And some of them, I realize how sick I was when I look at them.
But which is okay to have some.
Oh fuck, I'm stupid, eh? And then you learn, and then you never do it again. But I'm pushing 50. I'm still doing fucking stupid things, like dumb, like never been on this earth a day kind of things. I amaze myself. Anyways, I went to this banker, right? I had a meeting with the banker, and my wife was there, right?
Yeah.
So then...
it wasn't standalone. You were, team effort.
Well, we're a partnership, eh? We went to church, 2 candles became 1. That's how it works.
Nice.
Yeah.
So... I'm sitting there with this banker, and now I am I used to have a job that paid okay. I do not anymore. On paper, I look like shit. In fact, in 2020, I made as much on paper as in a year as I made in 2 weeks at my job. And I would say in 2021, it would be somewhat similar. No. I'm probably going to make about the same,
Yeah.
But
quality of life, real high.
But that's not my goal right now. In fact, my goal is not to, I don't need to show that I'm good on paper, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as I got my house, then my house, I'm like, oh, this is a nicer house than I ever thought I'd live in. I'm not going to get a nicer one. This is it. This is my last one, and then I could get shittier from here. I'll trade it in for an RV or something. That's the way I look at it. So I'm like, so that's done. And then my wife is like some sort of a machine or something, so she can look good on paper. She's not going to stop anyways.
Right. So she looks great.
So then my goal was equity. You go to equity, and then work on building equity because you don't have to pay tax. You don't have to pay tax until you realize the money, right? So you can be making this money on paper, but not realizing it. So then if you're just going to be earning it and then putting it into an investment, then what's the difference of just working on, by earning through your equity? So I worked on equity strategies, and so I can minimize how much money I claim on paper so that I look like shit, right? And that's not a good thing when you go for a loan. So, but I kind of know that because I got my wife in my back pocket, and she looks good on paper, so that's like I'll be okay, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so when people talk to me, but my wife doesn't really know much about banking, and I worked in it for like a decade and a half, so she usually defers to me for my expertise.
You're right.
And the banker really likes my wife, right?
Like uncomfortably?
No, like not uncomfortably or anything, but like you can tell that he is there for a meeting with my wife.
Oh, like
She looks good on paper.
Yes, because she looks good on paper.
She looks good.
When I have a question, it's Mr. fucking makes 2 nickels here has a question.
Yeah.
And, well, if I was Jane, I would do this, right? It was
Are
always...
you serious?
Oh, yeah. His whole body language, everything. He would shoulder up to my wife to answer the questions. The one time I said, well, why don't I just get bridge financing from her company or whatever? And he goes, I would really counsel Jane's company to get, to buy my investments
So
or
how,
whatever.
okay, how long did it take in this meeting before you really wanted to punch this guy in the fucking face?
I know I was doing it because I know my position, right? Like, I just have to accept it. It's the same sort of treatment you get if you go bring your kid to the doctor's office with your wife.
Oh, yeah.
You ever bring your kid to the doctor's office with your wife?
And they'll probably shoulder my wife instead of me.
Yeah, they do not. They would ask. We'd both be sitting with our kid. This one, they're like babies. The doctor comes and says, like, has she been running a fever? And she's clearly asking my wife, not me.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, well, my wife's been at work.
Yeah.
And like, she just got in here for the appointment. You know? Like, I've been like trying to care for these kids all day and like bring them and meet my wife at the appointment. So like, I'm like the main caregiver, and so I'm like, I have all the information.
Yeah.
So I
fucking listen to me.
I'm giving it out. Like, so she asks, and then I answer. And then the perception from her is that I'm mansplaining or trying to dominate the conversation. No, I'm the fucking primary caregiver. Like, you gotta, like, I'm the one who spent the day with the kid. Like, I know I have the freshest information. Like,
Right.
Like, I'm here too, and I'm a parent.
Well,
What I hate most in life is when you ask a question and it's answered to somebody else.
Oh,
Like, fuck me. I asked the fucking question for a reason to get a specific answer from the person I'm asking the question.
Yeah.
Not
Well, I hope
like
that's how she was acting, but she wanted it from my wife. But I'm like, well, you're asking the wrong person. She doesn't have it. She's been doing her job, and I've been at home with the kids. So like, but it's just like that's how you, as a parent, the father gets shit on publicly.
But Pete, it's also tough because we were raised to whether husband or wife to have an opinion. I think so whether it's a family gathering or one-on-one conversation or a one person running the conversation of 10 people, if you have an opinion, you say it and you get a response. We're not used to the have an opinion or have facts and then to be broadcasted in a different direction.
it's almost like Jane was your interpreter.
Right.
What?
It's almost like Jane was an interpreter.
Jaden was an interpreter for you, and you were like, what the
You're
fuck?
speaking a different language that the doctor didn't understand, but
Yeah.
if she would have said the same words,
Yeah.
it would have been just fine.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Because, like, even when I was saying it, she was still like, I asked your wife, kind of thing. Like, and I was like, but, like, that's when I really feel, the only time I really feel like where, like, I'm doing my job here and this is gender inequality here. Like, I'm going to call gender inequality on this. There's 2 times. Also, when you go to some grocery stores or department stores, they'll have new mother parking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what if I have the same 2 car seats?
You'd like it to be
Can I park there?
New parent parking?
New parent parking. Why can't you just say parent?
Well,
Yeah.
you know why? I would actually love that because I got a kid seat in my back seat all the time.
Yeah, you get to park there.
Just go park there, whether I've got a kid or not.
Yeah, that's why I always have a wheelchair in my back. Yep.
You seriously do?
Yeah, just well, sometimes I don't. The times I don't, I usually like to have a person who at least has mangled legs sitting in there.
Solid limp.
Not too many people have a wheelchair just readily accessible.
No, I'm lucky. I'm lucky. I know a lot of cripples. Yeah.
You got one of those signs in front of your windshield?
No, my mom does though. It's great. When I drive my mom around, I take her vehicle and I get to park.
If that was my mom,
cool spaces too when you do it.
2 wheelchair spaces,
That'd be
double
awesome.
park in the wheelchairs.
double park.
Imagine.
That's something. Eh?
If that was my mom, I would take her sign and photocopy it.
Oh, really?
Oh, fucking right, I would.
No, I don't want to do that. She actually needs it.
And I'd wonder how long it would take for that one belligerent person in the parking lot of the grocery store or Walmart to say, "What the fuck? You are not. You should not be there."
I got a question. Are you allowed to use the handicap shitter?
Well, why not?
Because you're not handicapped.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's policed.
Says who?
Like,
I'm just saying.
I'd just say mental illness. That's good enough.
That's what I'm saying. These days, in 2021, you don't fucking need any facts.
Well, because I think I am disabled enough then in that regard because I like bigger stalls.
Yeah, you could say you have a fear of small spaces.
I don't like the small stall. The handicap stalls generally got a higher toilet. I like that too.
And
Handle to get off the stall.
Sometimes
Nice
if you need to help up, I don't like to sit though. Maybe you can use it to help yourself, like hover.
What if you wanted to just?
But either way, you can hang your coat. You have a nice little walk to the toilet. You know, you don't feel it just feels like a nicer place to take a shit, like you have your own room, versus just shitting in a little stall.
The reason why I'd agree with that was because your instinct when you're in public restroom is you don't want to touch anything.
Yeah.
And if the stall walls are further away from you, you don't feel like you're going to touch something. Like I'm heavy against we all know what goes on in public bathrooms. It's fucking disgusting.
Yes.
Apparently
Okay.
Toilet paper. Apparently, like just a thin sheet of toilet paper on the seat is good enough.
That's what I do.
That'll stop any disease.
Oh, I got a story.
I do that a lot.
You got to worry now about people sticking like people that shoot up.
Yeah.
They'll fucking rip open the dispenser and stick their needle after
I don't believe it.
And then stick it in the toilet paper to clean it off.
Yeah, they put it in gas tank handles and all that shit too. Those are, I don't know if that's real stuff or not. They're too fucking drugged out. They just lie there. You're not going to come up with a scheme and then go try to hurt me.
You would need to think pretty hard about sticking a needle into toilet paper.
They're just going like this.
I wonder. Yeah, I don't imagine really like cleanliness or sterile needles your priority if that's how you're doing it either.
No, but
I got a question for you. Airport bathroom. You're in an airport. You got to take a shit. What do you do? What's your airport shit strategy? You're in the airport.
Well, I can tell you right now, my strategy is take a shit before you leave, and don't take a shit till you get to your destination.
What happens if you're on your way back from a destination, like say Cuba,
Yeah.
and you've been eating some food that doesn't quite agree with your tum tum?
Yeah. And you
have to
got
go in the
emergency
airport.
shit. This is an emergency shit in the airport. What do you do?
Whole roll of toilet paper on the seat.
I'll tell you. Gotta go.
And then you don't tuck the dick in.
You gotta go handicap
You can't tuck.
and family bathroom.
Well, you could.
Handicap or family bathroom. You look for that. You're not going public bath. You're not going to that big fucking one.
No.
No, you can't do it in there.
Here's
You
a
can't.
move:
It's too gross.
squat on put your feet on the seat and squat.
Oh,
Like the Asians.
Yep.
So
That's not a bad idea.
I was renovating my house past winter, and the plumber I had in, he's like, man, I kept on having to go to this farmer's place and replacing the toilet seats all the time.
Yeah. Because they're.
And he's like, why are the toilet seats keep
Can I
breaking?
guess? I know.
Yeah, go ahead. Guess.
Vietnamese are shitting on the back of the toilet.
No, almost. But so it was in the bunkhouse.
Oh, really?
So he had people from Mexico on the farm, and apparently in certain places in Mexico, you don't sit on the seat.
You squat on it.
You stand on the seat and you squat.
In Mexico, too?
No, certain parts.
Oh, just in the certain parts.
I don't know if it was
They
Tijuana
need
or
a
what.
squatty potty.
Yeah, Charters
Free
talks
ads.
about using the sliders in Japan
What?
all the
what?
time. You know, sliders? You ever heard of
That-
slider?
No, I never heard of that.
So you go to a lot of the Asian countries, and there's just like a slot in the ground. Like, it's a slot in the ground.
And you kick it over?
No, it's just a hole in the ground.
Okay.
It's just like a hole in the ground, and you just shit in the hole.
Standing up?
No, this is it. This is a physical. This will be a physical bit. I'll show you how to do it. I have to get my microphone off. Now, Charters always does an eloquent job of explaining it, but I'll have to show it to you. But it's like, you ever see how Asians smoke too? It's just basically like this. You basically are going like this and
Yeah?
shit in the ground.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
It's actually, when you even just do it like this, when you just squat like this,
I wonder if
it
they
feels like you're going to take a shit.
Yeah, I wonder
Like-
if they get spray on their feet.
It really opens your crack up so you don't get, I think it's good from that perspective, from a wiping perspective. And there's no water to splash into.
Yeah, you're right.
You're just you're shitting in a hole like an outhouse hole, I think. But I think they call it a slider because you slide it open, you know?
Yeah, would you want to put your hand on that slide?
No, I think it's some other mechanism. I'm not sure.
Always use your foot.
But I don't know. I wish Dave was here. We'd ask him how you like what you actually shit into. But he said, because he was there, he's like, I'm going to give this thing a try. And they think Western toilets are gross because you're like sitting on it, right?
Oh, they figured that touching.
Like, don't touch anything.
Don't
That's
touch
gross, you know? And I get it. Also, a lot of cultures think toilet paper's gross.
So what the fuck do they use?
Water.
Bidet. Yeah.
Tushy. What's that?
Yeah.
Tushy.
I can't say their names.
Okay, just think
so they
about.
sponsor me. Those cocks.
I still don't think a bidet would be enough, man. I'm heavy on the cleanliness, man. Like, just splash water and then you can pull your pants up right away. Like, you need a fucking wipe.
Still need a wipe, eh?
You still need a wipe.
Something to dry off.
Yeah, you need something.
I'm not a fucking animal.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta talk to like AJ or like Ada or something like that because I know they do something too. They got like a spray bottle by the toilet. Like there's
really?
something like they just keep some sort of a water bottle or something by the toilet and they just spray it up in their ass. But I don't know if they towel off after, or if they just like air dry or what.
just blow in the wind or what?
Yeah, because he said he was one of the people that said he thinks toilet paper's kind of a gross thing.
Not me.
So you use your like whatever genie lamp thing he's got.
Maybe because he's only grabbing one piece at a time. You gotta fucking.
You gotta wad that
Maybe.
up.
You gotta wad it up, man.
Maybe it's the North American diet. Maybe if you're eating a bunch of Whoppers and a bunch of chicken nuggets, you're gonna need some toilet paper.
Greasy.
But if you're just having like a falafel and some hummus,
Straight out.
I had some
Yeah.
fucking KFC
it's a
today.
nice dry shit with nothing to wipe off. It's just like coming out, scraping its way out.
I had
can't
some
remember.
KFC today. It didn't agree with me too well.
No.
You wanna know why? KFC. That's your problem right there.
Yeah.
You do not eat that without diarrhea. That is the thing that come. That was a birthday message I got, this week. It was from my friend Adrian. I got a birthday message, and it said, "Hey Pete, sorry I missed your birthday. I had diarrhea."
Oh,
That's pretty honest.
I woke up in the morning. That's the message I get on my phone. Like, I haven't heard from my friend Adrian in a long time. Oh, he sent me a message. This is nice. Oh, happy belated birthday. I have diarrhea.
he remembered and shared.
He more or less put a kind word out, and then he put a descriptive picture in your mind.
Yeah, where I get the picture of my disgusting friend taking
Blowing ass into a toilet.
blowing ass. Yeah, that guy is exactly the same as he's always been, and he makes me laugh. 'Cause, like that is so him. Fucking kills me.
Mm-hmm.
That guy makes me laugh as hard as anyone in the world has made me laugh, and he also makes me sick. Yeah, at the same time, like his jokes that are bad are so bad you would wish he would never tell a joke ever. But his jokes that are so good you think he's the funniest person
You're
you've
like,
ever
how the
met.
fuck how did those two scenarios happen?
Yeah, it's
So-
frustrating.
And his ad libs are good.
He does some things, and it's like, this guy's the funniest person I've ever known. He's so funny. And then once you laugh, like he'll get people like crying, laughing. Then he thinks he's on, right?
Uh-oh.
And that's the problem. Then he ruins it for
second he
himself.
thinks he doesn't have to chase the audience.
He needs to George Costanza it, like get out, like leave on a high and get out. We would always tell him, like, leave, you did it. Go, you're going to ruin it.
No more tags.
No more. You can't do it because he'll end up be like,
And then he leaves to crickets.
Yeah. And you just, like, you don't even want to be his friend anymore.
Fucking embarrassing.
Well, we used to have an expression when we lived with him in university. We'd always, when he would start bombing, we would just, we'd wave, like, an imaginary, like, our hand in front of his face. And we'd say, I wish there was a wall right here. We'd always say that. And that was what everyone just, I think one guy did it once and then we thought it was funny and we just kept doing the same thing over and over again. Then the repetitious bit becomes the bit, eh? Anyway, that is funny. Anyways, Adrian, I hope your diarrhea is better.
Me too.
That reminds us that we should probably do a quick segment we call feedback. We got feedback.
We got feedback. It's feedback. It's motherfucking feedback.
Feedback. Welcome everyone to feedback. We got feedback. Are you struggling with life because it's hard? Then you should probably get some help, I got some help a year ago. I've been with my therapist for just over a year now, and I cannot believe the success that I've had. It has really changed my life, and for the better, and all in just a year of doing what the guy says and working hard at it, and I'm really happy with how far I've come in a year. And you could also have the same sort of success if you're struggling with something, if you go to BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com/Dutch Hall. BetterHelp is not a crisis line. It's not a self-help line. It's professional counseling done discreetly, internationally. Wherever you are in the world, you can do it, and you don't have to wait in any lines with a bunch of other people who are struggling. You don't have to feel self-conscious like that. It's done mostly on Zoom. You don't have to wait for like 5-6 months on a waiting list in order to get an appointment. A therapist will be in touch with you within 48 hours to be able to assess your situations and start to discuss the next steps. That's a pretty good deal. And it's affordable compared to most offline counseling. It is a little bit cheaper, actually, in my experience. And so please, if you'd like to, give it a shot. That's betterhelp.com/Dutch Hall.
That's for a better tomorrow.
That's HELP.com/Dutch Hall. And special deal for Dutch Hall listeners, you will get 10% off your first month if you use the promo code Dutch Hall. That's what is it again?
BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.com/Dutch Hall. That's it. Okay, that's the ad. Also go to our website, livefromthedutchhall.com, and click on our Amazon banner, and you will do your Amazon shopping. And we can have some of Bezos' money. Because I don't know if he's just using it not wisely.
Well, he's fucking sending Shatner up into space.
Yeah,
in a dick rocket.
Yeah, they made a statement. Shatner comes out of the rocket and he's like, "Hey, this is amazing and it's profound and it's going to change the world." And he's crying and all this stuff. And I heard that. I heard when people go up in those kind of things that they see the Earth and they see how thin the atmosphere is around the Earth, and then they realize how fragile this existence is, and they have a sense of profound, like we have to do something to save the planet kind of thing.
All right.
Yeah, after they go up like that. And Shatner seemed to have that thing. You know who didn't have it? Bezos.
Oh.
Because when you're a fucking psychopath that's only like fixed on power, money, and like more power and
more money
and more status and all that stuff, he goes up and doesn't give a fuck about any of it. He just cares that.
No, he's on. This is his second go around, right?
And the super hot chick with the belly shirt and the jeans, who was like spraying the champagne afterwards. When she's hot. But that girl doesn't get it either. She doesn't understand any sort of profound.
She's not paid to get it.
No, she's paid to woo.
Yeah.
And show how good that the Amazon's doing. Anyways,
Yeah, but
give us some of the money. Go to Amazon, click on that Amazon banner and do your shopping there if you have to shop with him.
if Shatner's going to change the world, he better hurry up. He's fucking 90.
Well, that's just it. They come and they say, now it's not just for the scientists and the astronauts. Now the artists are going up. Yeah, a 90-year-old artist, you're giving him like 3 months to do something with that. Like it's like he has no. That's the wrong artist to pick. Maybe pick somebody who's like
A little more influential in society.
has something to say. Maybe
Probably
like
forget.
yeah, he probably doesn't even think it. No one's going to believe him. He's like, I just went up into space. They're like, yeah, whatever.
That's the last thing he
Sure he
did.
did.
America's Most Wanted
Yeah.
narrator. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know what he did.
I swear he was the narrator for America's Most Wanted, wasn't he?
He was on one of those shows, those crime shows. He was also a Priceline guy.
Yeah, I thought he'd be
Priceline.
like doing a Priceline ad when he got off. That
Yeah.
yeah.
He probably could have got some money from him. Anyways, Shatner did it, and that's crazy because I don't know why you picked him because it was kitschy.
But we want Dick Rocket money.
Yeah. Anyways, give us Dick
They
Rocket's
picked
money.
him because he was a fictitious character on a fictitious show.
Yeah, he was Captain Kirk, right?
Wow.
How long does the whole trip last? Like a minute?
I think 15 minutes or something, top to bottom.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know about the whole thing. It's like it seems stupid to me. Anyways, it's a real thing though. You don't have to go to space, but we might be able to go to Australia.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Who talked to us? Emil Van Steeg.
All right.
Yeah, and he sends a picture of his couch.
Did he?
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Oh, you want to see his picture of his couch? I'll show you. This is the couch. He says to us. Oh wait, I have to change the switch account to that one. All right. He says, thought you might find. Oh, sorry. This was our couch. I would insist that you freeloaders keep on your yellow jackets when staying, is what he says. So that, to me, sends a picture of the couch, and he says, I would insist that you freeloaders keep your yellow jackets on when staying, which means that he's accepted our,
You gotta love that.
Van Dyke party invitation.
Basically, I think by that message, what he's telling me is if you come to Australia, we can sleep on his couch.
Yeah.
And he knows we're freeloaders, and he's accepted that. This is his couch, though.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It doesn't look like a whole bunch of.
I like it.
Yeah, best way to describe it is it's like a pink and brown couch, but like the way that
It looks like one of those couches that no one ever sat on. It was just to look at.
but see how those are just like vaginas and bum holes?
Yeah, they are.
Every single one. Like you could fuck each one of those, eh?
That's why he wants you to keep your yellow jacket on.
Yeah, because that couch looks like it's probably covered in jizz, right?
Yeah. And the bottom pillow looks like the fucking legs.
Do you care though? I just want to go use his couch.
No, I would lie on that jizz-filled machine.
yeah.
I probably, if I was lonely enough, because I'd probably be away from my wife, I might stick my cock in that thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd definitely snuggle it.
Would you switch every night, or would you go just stick to the same spot?
No.
Good question.
I'll tell you what I would do. First thing what you'd see me do is search the house for some sort of vinegar and water.
Some disinfectant.
Yeah.
Makes a douche sound when it's.
Yeah, and now I'm going to be washing each and every one of those things inside and out. I'm going to get those things nice and squeaky clean, right? Second step, what I'm going to do is I'm going with baby oil. Baby oil on each and every one of those same things up.
See, Kev, I think...
Then what I'm going to do, Beaver, is I'm fucking each one, boom, 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 like this, but 1-2 strokes in each one. I'm not going to give them very much.
Give me a 2-pump chump in every one?
I'm not going to finish. Whoever I finish in, they're the winner. Whichever fold of the couch I finish in is the winner.
See, Kev, I think Pete, the curiosity would overwhelm him, and he would be like, all right, I wonder if the next one feels this good.
Yeah.
I wonder if the next one feels this good.
Yeah, are they all the same? Is one tighter than the other?
And then he'd get a bad stitch in one.
Oh yeah.
And then
I would not be a fan of that girl.
Yeah.
I would probably be insulting.
And it'd probably be like number 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, he'd be in.
It wouldn't be the first one or the second one.
Hopefully not.
No.
He's got to get a couple.
He's got to get a couple rounds in.
Little couch vagina.
Yeah, so thank you to Emil.
Yeah,
but and expect us anytime.
Yep.
We'll give you a heads up. Don't worry. We'll give you a heads up. But and even if that isn't his real couch, and then it doesn't matter. We'll sleep garage.
Doesn't care. Yeah.
There's a dairy barn there. I'm sure there's some warm bedding.
I've
Maybe
slept
some
on
straw,
I've
yeah.
slept on floors before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I'm not a proud man. I'll sleep anywhere.
Yep.
You just gotta make sure you give enough booze, eh? Huh?
You can create a pillow out of anything.
That is true.
You can. I mean,
A bag of nails.
I've used
It's a tough pillow,
I've used
but yeah.
I've used a bathroom mat before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing I ever used for a pillow is like a shoe.
I've slept in a cardboard box before. I bet you can't say that.
You really have?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, so
Were you homeless?
no. Well, we felt like it. Me and my buddy Golden. This was in college days where we were going from college to college. And we went to this one friend's place, and they had a wall right in, like this place, they were trying to get every bedroom they could in it, the homeowner, for college students to make money out of. They put a wall in between the fire, like in the middle of the fireplace.
Oh, you get double
And
two heated rooms.
And these friends of ours were so cheap on the utility bill that by the end of the night, I was freezing my bag off. So the only thing I could find, that me and Golden could find, was his cardboard boxes. So I'm like, Golden, I don't give a fuck, man. I'm either spooning you or fucking in that cardboard box.
Yeah.
Or both.
That would have been the move. Spoon them in the cardboard box.
So...
But if you could fit in that cardboard box and keep your body heat in that,
It actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah, the homeless are onto something there.
Yeah, I had to I ripped on all. You know how there's the fold on the 4 folds?
Yeah.
I ripped all 4 folds off, stacked them,
Oh, pillow.
and that was my pillow.
Oh man, that's a veteran move.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you there's even some homeless people out there watching you do that, and they're like, "Where the hell's this guy from? He's like a genius."
Yeah, and you know what you do is once you rip them off and you put them all on top of each other, you create a curl.
Oh,
So then
and you can wipe your ass with it if you wanted to.
it'd be a tough one, but
Well,
Well,
depends
better
what
than
you eat,
nothing.
right? If
Rip
you
that top layer off.
yeah.
Eh,
eat,
just
that,
rip-
eat that KFC, you're going to need it.
oh yeah, that KFC's not good, eh?
No.
Diarrhea?
No, I didn't have any diarrhea. It was not agreeing with me at all.
Oh yeah, all that grease, eh?
A lot of gargling.
So delicious though.
Yep.
So delicious.
Even good cold.
They made me fucking pay for condiments. I was pissed.
What?
I ordered my fucking Big Crunch, and I'm like, you mind throwing some honey mustard in there because KFC honey mustard is fucking dynamite.
Yeah? And they said they
Dynamite.
charge you for it.
They charged me 20 cents for a packet of fucking mustard.
Oh my goodness. This is what it's come to, eh?
It's come to. I'm
Those
like,
greedy fuckers.
and then after that, she proceeded to say, "Would you like any ketchup with that?" I'm like, "Do I got to pay for it?"
What's that cost?
And she's like, "Nope." I'm like, "How come I got it? What kind of wrap did mustard get?"
Especially honey mustard.
yeah, maybe there's a big mustard shortage.
Well,
Probably is. Apparently, we're not going to be able to buy Christmas presents this year either. They're all
they're all stuck in a port in California.
Yeah, so it's going to be a weird Christmas. Get used to like knitting or something. Like take up a craft hobby because you're
Something made out of
making.
macaroni.
Oh, I got
Yeah.
Speaking of knitting, so I did the whole when I told everybody that my wife was pregnant. I called my grandmother, and first thing she said was, "Oh, Derek, I get to knit another blanket."
Does she?
Every kid,
Every baby gets a
every
blanket?
baby gets a blanket. She's like, "It's been a while. It's been a few years since I knitted a blanket."
Do you still have yours?
Yep.
That's awesome.
She even made it when you were born.
Yep.
Oh wow, she's been at it forever. That's a nice tradition.
Yeah. So like my boys knitted blanket is in our living room, and I use it to when I'm watching the hockey game.
Really, it's big enough that you can have it.
It's fucking huge, man. It's like full, like a full bed sheet.
Oh, it's not a baby blanket.
No, man, it's full on.
Oh, a real blanket.
It's like there's no cheaping out.
When my kids went away to school, my wife had a plan to crochet a blanket for both of them.
Yeah.
She got, I know one's done for sure, but she worked her ass off to get that done. And then we watched the movie, and that same fucking Elaine from Seinfeld was in it, and she was doing the exact same thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
And I'm like, is it like, are we that predictable? Like everyone does it like the same stuff? But yeah, we do.
I love it though. They're comfy as hell.
Oh yeah,
Like
nothing like it.
Like some knitted blankets are. Everybody's always got that knitted blanket, and you can tell if it's bought or not.
Yeah. You know what? One time this guy I live with, he had his grandma's Afghan. You know what an Afghan is?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They got those big holes in them.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was so warm, this grandma's Afghan, but it doesn't look like it should be warm because it's got big holes in it, right? But it is. It was warm. It was nice.
It was a nice insulator.
And it was heavy, a little bit heavy, so it felt good. And then one day we came home from school. We find another roommate of ours, this guy Jeremy.
Sticking his dick in it.
He was fucking masturbating underneath he had the blanket underneath it, like over top of him, but underneath you could see through the holes.
Oh no!
He's fucking jerking off to Grace Under Fire.
What?
Yeah, on the TV was
Brett Butler.
Brett Butler, Grace Under Fire. What a weird wank.
What a pick.
Yeah.
What a pick.
I think
so. Like my buddy is like upset because that's his grandma's Afghan.
I bet you this was a story.
And he's like, God damn it, Jeremy, like it's my grandma's Afghan. And then right away we look at the TV, and it's like Brett Butler, and then he's like, Brett Butler, like Grace Under Fire? Are you kidding me? Like right away the focus was taken off the blanket. It was into the curious masturbation material that he chose.
He wanted to get caught.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a desperate cry for help. If you're masturbating to Brett Butler, that's a desperate cry for
Especially
help.
with an Afghan, you can see right through it.
He must like old ladies, because
did he not think he was not going to get caught?
Well, he thought he was home alone. He was home alone before we walked in. Right. We walked in.
I think it seems like a pretty public place setting in a house. The most public place in your house is the living room.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
See, this is what happens. This is the way I think it went down. He's sitting around watching Grace Under Fire, and
hot and horny.
I don't know what the supporting characters were like on that show. Maybe there was a hot daughter or something. I don't know, but
I don't know.
But but you're watching Grace Under Fire, and then you're feeling a little frisky for some reason, right? And then you're like, I don't even know the last time I busted a nut. You're sitting there like, no one's here, right? Now all of a sudden you're like, how fucking horny am I? I think Brett Butler looks hot, And then so now you're like, God damn it, those you start like touching yourself a little bit under the blanket, right? You're not really going at it. You're just like your hand just kind of finds its way.
You're throwing a test out
to the warmth, and now you're underneath the blanket with your hand on your cock or whatever, and you're not really doing nothing, just kind of like just maybe flicking it. And then the next thing you know, it fucking pops up a little bit, and then you're like, when it gets large, it goes through the Afghan hole, right?
So then
now you feel the tightness of the Afghan.
Yeah, so other feelings are coming into play.
Now you're like, Jesus Christ, this is getting better and better, right?
Yeah, now I gotta fuck the blanket.
Now you figure this blanket, this Afghan is like Brett Butler's vagina or whatever. You got it cooked up in your head. It's just too much for you to go through with, and you're like, God damn it, I can't help it anymore. I'm overtaken with passion.
Yeah.
And you're just fucking the blanket.
Passion.
You're fucking the blanket, and then all of a sudden your two roommates walk in.
So what did he do when you walked in?
He went, whoa, like that. And then
like you were supposed to turn around and
like,
go
whoa,
back out.
I'm not masturbating.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think I was doing, but I wasn't jerking off to Brett Butler. Right?
None of those things happened.
Like he was narrating the story before you could even say it.
Yeah. But he, I don't know. He freaked out, and then was like, kind of like got out of there, like. It was awkward for all of us. We all didn't want to be with each other at that moment. Like we're all going to our rooms. I'm gonna have to burn my grandma's blanket.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Because you can't wash a knitted blanket knowing it's been violated.
No, that's pretty much done. It's his blanket now.
Yeah.
Maybe he just wanted a blanket.
Yeah, maybe. That's all you got to do. If you want some of my stuff, just jerk off on some of my stuff. It's yours.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson to leave it with, eh?
I think so.
Yeah.
So.
Now I've given everybody, we're going to teach you how to like keep your money and all that stuff. There's no jokes in it. So we talked about shitting and
yeah,
and how to obtain people's possessions by jerking off.
Jerking
like
off
marking
on
your
it.
spot.
Yeah, but it's true. If you do really want my stuff, and pretty much most stuff, most other people's stuff too. Just jerk off on it and tell them that you did so.
Yeah.
And then they'll want to get rid of it. Believe me.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah. You like that toaster?
Yeah. Yeah.
That toaster's got my jizz all over it. And they're like, you want it? Yeah, I'll take it. So easy.
Yeah.
Plug it in first.
Yeah. Believe it or not, that's how I made my fortune. I came on everything you see here. I've come on.
Oh, good.
that's how I obtained it. Imagine that. I know I had a guy that would say that if you jerk off somewhere, you own that place.
Huh.
Like he goes, like so he would try to jerk off. Like if you go to some other place, he'd always try to jerk off in new places, right? No, he is a sicko. He also one time was working on my farm, and for planting time, and he only got to see one woman, and it was my girlfriend.
Oh shit.
Who's now my wife.
Yeah,
right?
that's tough.
And so he's in the shower. I'm in the living room in the bunkhouse. We live in the bunkhouse. And he's in the shower, and he yells for me in the shower, "Hey, Pete, just fucked your girlfriend."
Oh.
Right?
Oh, that sucks.
Because he was jerking off in the shower.
Yeah.
I think, and he only girl he could think about, because the only one that he had in his memory was my girlfriend, so he used it. And then he told me about it right away.
I don't know if that's you probably didn't know how to take that as a compliment or as disgust.
Well, what can you do? You can't tell. Like, if I want to tell you, Beaver, I'm going to jerk off to thinking of your wife's tits tonight.
Yeah, I don't know how I would take it.
Yeah, it would be like a mindfuck for you, right?
Yeah, it would be a mindfuck.
But there's nothing you can do to stop me.
No, there's
true.
nothing. No, there's nothing at all.
And like, it's not polite of me to tell you that I'm doing that.
It's supposed to be internal.
Right. But let's face facts here. No one's jerking off thinking of anything anymore. Can you jerk off to your imagination?
No.
Can you anymore?
Not when you got the
Internet, like right there. I mean, to do it with my imagination now, that would be like trying to start a fire with two sticks, Like, it's just not.
It's not 2021.
Yeah, there's lighters now, There's
Yeah.
ways to do it. So, like, that's how I feel about memory. So, no matter how beautiful your wife is, Beaver, I'm not going to be, like, conjuring it up. Now, if she's got tape.
You'd like that sent over.
Right, then I have something to work with. But memory's not good enough, Beaver.
not even a picture anymore. It's got to be.
I think it's got to be full action. I don't even know if I could
pictures.
do a magazine anymore. I don't know. It would have to be a good, dirty picture, man.
When I was at the fertility clinic, I had the option of magazine or video.
Really?
Yeah. They had this was probably 5 years ago now at this really nice clinic in Scarborough.
So they want fresh jizz there. They don't want you to take it home and bring it to you.
Oh, you're not allowed. You're not even allowed your wife in there.
Too much saliva in the sample, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Like as in, because when I went into all this, I'm like, I would just Julie, just tell them to mail me the container and we'll bring it in. Oh no, that's not how it works.
Because I knew a guy, he got a vasectomy, and the lady at the end of it,
Yeah, because
she gives him a sample jar and the requisition form for the lab to bring in your jizz to, right?
Yeah.
This guy takes it, goes to the bathroom, jerks off in it, brings it back to the receptionist at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Right? Like right away.
And she was probably like,
He's all sweaty. He hands her a thing of his own jizz, and she's like, "No, you go home and do this, and then bring it to a lab. You don't just go over there and jerk off into a cup and give it to me." Like, I don't want your jizz.
yeah, but
He went
that's
in the
where
washroom.
What?
At least he went in the washroom.
At least he went in the washroom.
Yeah,
Just
at least
didn't just like unzip in front of her. Like she gives him the cup, and he's just like, "No, just a second." There we go.
Hold the cup still.
I need more angle.
Yeah, that's definitely how you'd film that. Yeah. Anyways, I always like thinking about that story. I had a nice story I heard about my friend Mark. And it goes with our last week's show where I went to the spa. Anyways, his wife, she says that she went to this. My friend Mark went to this spa with his wife, and they're sitting there and they're told, like, you can go change in there, and then here's your robe, and then you come out, right, for the massage. You wait, and then you can take your robe off and get, how they do it. So they go into the change room. They come out in their robes, and Mark says to his wife, hey, do you take all your clothes off, or just like your
just your main clothes?
Just do you leave your underpants on? And she goes, well, you leave your underpants on, like. And he goes, I'll be right back.
Oh, you had to go put it back on. Was he hoping for a happy ending or what?
I don't know what he thought. I think he thought you just go bare ass, and he thought I'm just gonna when in Rome, you like I'm gonna take the
free bird it.
Free bird it. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking, but that's what's so funny about it. Anyways, that's our show for this week. If you'd like to listen again, then please do so, and tell a friend if you think they might like it. And by the way, we didn't mention it, but we do have a Patreon, so you can support our Patreon at patreon.com/Dutch Hall, and then you can be our queen or some other royalty, or literally be your bitch, do whatever you want for as little as $5 a month. So please do that. But until next week, we will... and you can give us feedback, too. Yeah, at livefromthedutchhall.com or thedutchhall.com or Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that shit. Now, until next week, we will see you NT. See you next Thursday.
See you NT. To do with the words of G, like my geography teacher when I was in high